Shamps and giggles, history, news, views, and reviews from a black perspective.
Even out to kiss me. Hey, I can sing it. Hey. Pinky and that boss mute. Lord of His mercy. Well, we evidently are going to continue. It's quite interesting that this publicity, which is what the news does, it publicizes what's going on. And then what happens is you get a spike in the occurrence of the pet napping and people being held to ransom for their pets. That's what the news does. The news, it spreads the word, and it's the best form of free publicity that you can possibly have. That's why terrorists don't publicize anything. It goes straight on the news, and then hey, look, there's a terrorist in your area. So as you look up on this here thing there, pet ransom, there's just so many occurrences. It's not nothing new. Even as we're talking about it, it's not nothing new. This pet ransom business has been going on for a long time, and it's not just in this country. Here's a clip. Might as well share this clip. Here's a clip. This is in just the accent's going to tell you. It's in America somewhere, and yeah, it's a pet napping situation. The dog is held for ransom. Let's check out the story.
A search for a missing dog has turned into a story of ransom demands and possible animal cruelty.
An Annaville resident says it began when his dog broke free from her harness. Our Michaela Chavez joins us now in the studio with the story and how this case has become a warning to pet owners everywhere. Michaela, what do you know about this missing dog?
This is Lucy, who disappeared earlier this month. Kenneth Pena's search for Lucy took a distressing turn the next day. He received a video that left him reeling with shock and anger and is now trying to find answers. Pena received that video and photos of a dog, which he believes to be Lucy. Those images show electrical tape wrapped around the dog's mouth. It's also being hit. The text messages came with the demand of $250 via Cash App in exchange for the dog.
Then they just stopped talking to me after that. I didn't send the money, but they would no longer communicate with me. From that point on, there's been no communication.
Pena filed a police report, which police say is the first thing someone in this situation should do. CCPD tells us this case has been assigned to a detective. Police add people should be cautious if they get messages like the ones Pena received.
Could be a scam, might not be his dog. He's paying somebody, you just don't know, is he paying the right person?
Animal Care Services is also investigating for possible animal cruelty. They tell us there are many instances in which both departments each conduct separate investigations.
And if somebody is actively inflicting animal cruelty or harming an animal, that's not going to be a joking matter. And if you're doing it, we're going to find you, we're going to hold you accountable, and if you need charges, we are going to file charges on you.
In this case, police may also file a theft charge. Meanwhile, Pena hasn't given up hope, despite no more communications.
I've not lost hope in it at all, but the longer it goes without any communication from anybody, the lower it gets. She was still young, had a lot to learn. She was really excitable, but she was a good dog.
Yeah.
CCPD.
Very, very, very sad. His dog was pet napped, and dog's been held for ransom. Notice the bill, 250. Well, he didn't look like the kind of guy that was going to pay the 250 quid, to be fair. So 250 quid for his pet, which has been napped, and he reported it to police, which I guess is the right thing to do. The worst thing to do would be to not share it, keep it to yourself, and or pay Because once you pay, isn't that, now they're going to ask you for more money. Because you're obviously a willing participant at that point. You're willing to pay. So, it's one of those things where it's sad, of course, if you have a pet and they got a picture of your pet. Sometimes, as I say, the picture of the pet that they have is yours because you put the pet pictures out there saying the pet is lost. They take that same picture, you put your number out. If anybody has any information, contact this number. You put your number out there as well. So they take your picture, your number, send it to you and say, hey, I got your pet. Send me money, I'll give you your pet back. It's just ridiculous. And it also shows the wickedness of people, isn't it? Let me see this. It's usually the people who kiss up them pets, not the ones who make their pets work. My cats are here to kill the rats. Well, there you have it. And you're quite right. Your pet is really, it's got a job. It's got a job to do in the house. It's not just there for you, you know what I mean? For you to hug up, love up. And, some people, I remember seeing a guy fed the dog his sandwich. It's not like he shared. While he's eating the sandwich, he give the dog a bite, the dog bite it, and he put it back in his mouth. I don't know if I couldn't believe what I saw. But some people are so in love with their pets, that's what they do. They'll share their food with the pet. So yeah, this pet napping, pet ransom, I think they will make the thieves will make money if and of course they just select their targets. The old boy that I showed there, he weren't gonna be. You can see he lives in a caravan, he's not gonna pay. But there are some people, if they spent $1,000 on their dog, the dog's worth money, of course they're gonna pay. I seen it. The one day, the girl, she was crying. She lost her animal. She's stopping cars in the street, the whole 9 yards. Have you seen my cat? It's a white baby man. It ran off. He was there. Have you seen her? She was hysterical because she lost her cat. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm not a cat owner myself. And I felt for her. And at the same time, I couldn't believe that. Wow. But you can't say it's just a cat. I mean, somebody said it already. Cats have personalities. Somebody else said cats or dogs, they become a part of the family, right? How long they've been there. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I just think it's a sad situation. I think it's been publicized. I don't think it's an out of control situation. But I do believe that when the news media catch hold of it, more people get this foolish idea, and then of course it's one of those things that could get out of hand. In other news, by the way, as we're talking, in other news, there's a situation that happened. It's very odd. It's a very odd situation. This guy, the fire chief, was found dead. How odd of a situation is this? West Midlands Fire Chief Officer Wayne Brown, found dead. Just like that. Young man, he was under investigation. And, this is an interesting subject for being under investigation, by the way. He was under investigation from his qualifications for the role. So I've heard about this in the past, whereby people will say on their resume that they've accomplished this, that, and the third, and not Nogoso. Lie to myself. So Mr. Brown was being investigated over claims made on social media about his qualifications for the role of chief officer. He was found dead at his home. Well-respected guy. It's said to be a terrible loss. But it just seemed to be a bit strange that this, and you know what, who say black man can't be fire chief officer? I mean, black men. See, that's my point. Black men get into big roles. He's a fire chief officer. Yeah, decorated individual, got stars and badges and spangled banners on his lapel and the whole 9 yards. You know, and this is running things. 27 years in the London Fire Brigade, rising to the role of assistant commissioner, joined the West Midlands Fire Service in November 2009 as deputy chief fire officer, and then took up the role of chief fire officer in January 2023. During his career, Mr. Brown, he attended some of the country's most high-profile disasters, including Grenfell Tower fire and the 2005 London terrorist attacks. Terrible loss of a good man. But you know, here's what's weird again. Here it is, 27 years in the London Fire Brigade. He's risen through the ranks, and all of a sudden he's under investigation for his qualification. Like, what? They didn't like to see black man in the role of fire chief, you know, officer, like top dog. They're going to investigate him now after 27 years. I mean, that's just experience. For 27 years, that's experience. What are you investigating? Inky, your hand is up. Lord of his mercy. Wayne Brown is his name, and it is a terrible loss. You know, he looked like a young man too. They didn't say his age. They did not say his age. Oh, there you are. The body of a man in his 50s was sadly found. Yeah, yeah. So he was in his 50s, but decorated individual. He served his time. I'm a bit upset that he has been investigated. Just reading the story, I'm a bit upset that he's been investigated. 27 years in the job.
Well, it wasn't. It, according to what was being said, it's not his workplace that was investigated in, was it? I thought that it was claims made by social media of probes on his qualification. Because if he's been in the ranks for 27 years, you're telling me that within those 27 years, he never did CPD.
Well, here's the thing, you know.
27 years, you've never done CPD. No. This it's not that the employer, your employer, is supposed to know what qualifications you have. Because any job you go for, yeah, you're supposed to, unless he lied about his qualification, and that is very hard to do today because your qualifications now are numbered and it can be checked. Okay, so I don't understand, and it didn't say his workplace, it was claims from social media, and it sounded to me like he must have got into something with social media, or some people was trolling him. Somebody's got to be trolling him. Well, because why would a man of that age all of a sudden you're found dead? They ain't say whether it's suicide.
Yeah, and they're saying they're not treating it as suspicious.
Right. So if you're not treating that as it's suspicious, how did he die then?
Well, here's the thing. Mr. Brown was involved in a court case in which a man has been charged with harassment against him. So if there's a man that's been harassing him and has been charged with harassing him, and
then that's the people that sent him to his death, isn't it?
Because well, that would be a line of investigation.
Well, it does sound strange because it's not the workplace that's made the claim of probe, or unless they're now deciding to. I find that strange. For 27 years, you know, for me, that sounds like what they do to black people all the time. It's called blackballing. It's called blackballing you. You've got the qualifications for a job.
You got the experience.
And then afterwards now.
What they want,
you're being questioned about your skills to actually do a job.
Right. Now that you're fire chief officer, now they're questioning you. You've been
That's a bit late to question him.
years.
That's a bit late. He's gone to the highest rank
And now they want to question
for chief
you know,
firing, and you're telling me that his credentials was not checked out.
Yeah,
that sounds a bit suspicious to me.
But check this out, and Smiley, your hand is up. I'm gonna bring you in. Check this out. Look, the Mr. Brown was being investigated over claims made on social media.
See? Social media.
Yeah, but this is like the government watching television and then deciding to act. They didn't act for the post office people when it went to court, when the post office people were complaining. No, they acted when they saw it on TV. A high level of foolishness. Here, the fire service are investigating this man because social media has made a claim. Not because they found fault with his work over the 27 years. No. Some idiot on social media comes on and says, oh, he's not qualified. And then they decide to have an investigation. It's you know, there's the old saying, is the dog wagging the tail or is the tail wagging the dog? It seems like we're in a culture where the tail wags the dog. The government doesn't take the lead. They follow freaking what the television says. The fire service doesn't take the lead. They're following what social media says. Right? Who's in control here? Smiley, your hand is up. Start the things. Why?
Yeah, it's a shocking and upsetting incident or death. And if the police are not looking for any other suspicious circumstances, then it is possible that it might have been suicide. But the level of stress that he must have been under, just over 50 years old, and reached the height of a black man in charge of a police division alone, fire department, fire chief. He's a chief.
He's a chief.
You know, he's not a borough commander. He's a chief.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's even higher than a borough commander. So he's reached the pinnacle, and for social media to then someone to put on social media about his qualifications, they haven't got a clue about his qualifications. Exactly. What does social media know about his qualifications? The qualifications you would have given 27 years ago. So he would have started that force. He might have been, say he's 54, he might have started when he was 27 or even before that. So he was in training. So he's come out of college or university or school. They want your qualifications. So you write down what you've done prior. So that would have been in personnel. Then
and they train
one minute, Pinky. They would have trained him at the fire training. You pass a certificate. You're able to climb the ladders. You're able to put a gas mask on. You're able to do the fireman's lift. Yeah.
Right.
You're able to hold a hose pipe. Yeah. So he would have done that training, got the certificate. That would have been on his file. He sees an opportunity to become maybe a team leader. He fills in an application form for that. He's got the credentials already for the certificates. He passes that with merit. Yeah.
Right.
Then he moves on, sees another post. Oh, I could be in charge now of a section. He goes to maybe a senior post. He applies. He gets it on what he's done before and all the experiences and the proof, the evidence is there. What he's got. Yeah. Gets the fire chief officer's job. They know what he's done prior. He's got 27 years of experience. And this is hands-on experience.
Right.
It's not that you've ticked boxes. Right. You've been on the road. You're I would say you're a roadman. You know, you're wise because you've seen the action, and then you've read out that he's got experience because he was on the Grenfell incident, and there was another serious one he was on. I don't know if it was did you say Manchester?
The 2005 terrorist attack.
Yeah. So he was there at that. So
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing. So for me, for social media and for the fire department or fire investigation officer or department or head office to have a cheek to investigate him because
Yeah.
of social media, someone might have put it on WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. That's social media to me.
Yeah.
It didn't come from them. So for me, that was out of order and disrespectful to him. And as a black man, because we talk the things about black people, it's disrespectful. And they had a contributing factor to his death.
I would certainly concur. I mean, and then, but wait, and then the police say there's nothing suspicious. This got suspicious written all over it. I mean, come on, somebody's had a vendetta, raise alarm bells for foolishness, and they actually got the attention of the fire department to take the step of investigating. Come, Jeremy, he found
after 27 years. It's appalling.
27 years.
It's
And
really
all that
appalling.
experience in between
It's appalling.
is appalling, and definitely something's going on here. Jeremy, you part the things you find Dino. 1 minute.
Okay, I totally agree with what you said. He's got an exemplary record. However, I'm going to play devil's advocate. You are professional, you've got all the qualifications until someone has an excuse to take a close scrutiny on your life or your work's history. Yeah, so something's been said on social media. Remember, I am not agreeing with this, but I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
Somebody has put something on social media. Somebody else in the fire department has now investigated it, yeah, and found out that something in his qualifications is missing. And I'm going to give you a quick little story here from a TV show, yeah? Suits, yeah? There was a lawyer in Suits, yeah, who never actually attended the bar, but he did hundreds of cases, and he was an exceptional lawyer. But when he had to go to court for the said thing, because he never actually passed the bar. So without passing the bar, he's not legally a lawyer to do the things that he's done. So in the instance of my fireman, I'm saying, could this be the case? That everything else he did in 26 years was totally above board, totally followed by the letter, but what he did to get his entry, and please, I am not hating on this guy in any shape or form. I'm just trying to look at this thing from all perspectives. And we already know something here is not right anyway. We know this already.
There is that possibility, Jemmy.
Yeah.
But there's
Hands up, hands up.
Put your hand up,
Join
please.
the queue, join the queue. Your hand is up. Who's next?
I was waiting to see if Jemmy had finished.
Oh.
I kind of lost my trail of thought then.
Oh, yeah.
But no, what Jeremy's point was, as you
Yeah.
heard, in Suits, somebody was working as an attorney, but he hadn't passed the bar. So
Yes.
legally, he's not meant to be representing cases, and he was.
Understand
Why-
that.
This is why I went to
Be a
the part where I said,
similar
Keith,
situation
where 27 years ago he started, everything from year 26 forward was correct, but possibly something on entry, which defaults everything else he's kind of done, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So my reverse, yeah, I would say for me, 26 years of working from start, from training, passing the exams, from being a trainee to becoming team leader, to becoming office manager or station manager, to become, I don't know, borough commander, and then chief of all chief in the 26 years or 26 and a half years. Yeah. And they've got all the documentation, because you can't not go for those exams. It's not that you can supposed to go to a bar and you sit down and do the test and you don't turn up. You have to be there in the fire station. They have examiners there to train you and to make sure that you do those exams to pass. And then it goes up to personnel and the chief exec of the fire department. For him to fail something and get the chief officer's job, I cannot believe that, because I believe, and this is my opinion, that it's near enough impossible. That's like you saying that the borough commander or the chief constable of the Metropolitan Police got his position, yeah, but he didn't do the exam. That can't be right. You can't reach that pinnacle and not follow the law. So for me, I still think it's hearsay. I still don't think that's correct, because I take him as chief fire officer and chief constable of the Metropolitan Police. You have to have had experience and a qualification behind you. So
By the
that
way,
to me is still a grey area, and something's not right there.
Keith, I think what you're saying is correct, because I think it's more the experience that goes in when you go for them top jobs like that, you've got to have been in the force for a certain period of time. If not, don't come. I mean, it's the experience that's getting you that position. You've worked in the trenches. You've been there when various situations have happened. You've been involved. You've been in the game, so you know the game in and out. It's not necessarily just book smart that gets you into that position. It is the hands-on. You've been there, and you know the players in the field, the other fire managers and marshals and all the rest. So you know, and of course, along the way, you gain their respect. That's how you become the chief, the top dog. You have to gain their respect. So, you know, it's a challenging one. And so when they talk about qualifications through social media, if someone's looking back at your resume from 20 how many years ago, come on.
Right, Joe. Let me
That's a
put this
pile
on
of,
you really
wait, because Pink is up next. That's a pile of hoo-ha, that 20 years, because post that 20-year situation, you've been going through the various training modules in the thing, up the ladder, down the ladder, in the fire, out the fire, in the situation. Shamsandgiggles.co.uk, by the way, is the website. You can email us at shamsandgiggles@gmail.com. Pinky, you do have your hand up.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that, you know, just reiterating from what Keith said, because if you understand the fire service, and I do understand a little bit because my daughter did the first training, they literally train you on site.
On the job, there you go.
On the job. There was a point where you went to school, where you went to fire school, yeah? Because even our London fire services, they do have a real educational section to the station, because there is an educational section there that people need to know and you learn. So I know my daughter, they did it. They went through the training, like you said, how to hold a hose, how to wrap up, how to go up the stairs, how to rescue. They have to go through all of that. So, like Keith said, 26 years, he's on the job trained. So whatever qualifications that they're saying, and let's look at this even a bit closer, because you know you have to think about, why do we have apprenticeships?
Right.
Why do we have apprenticeships? Apprenticeships is on the job learning. That's how you learn. Yeah, and then you get your qualification from doing that apprenticeship, from on the job learning. So with the fire service, I know for sure 100% you learn on the job. And like Keith said, you go through the stages. So how can all of a sudden, after 26 years, this is what they do. Now, we've got to understand something here. This is how racism and institutional racism, I didn't want to bring it up, right? But if you even look now, and we go straight across to the States, that NBC, same thing that they've done there to the black girl, Tiffany Cross, just because She's not doing all the talking how they want her to be doing the talking. There's a book out by Dr. Anderson. It's called Control of Black People Remain, unproductive, really, to be quite honest, because if we look back from, how when we were thriving back before the 60s, I'm talking about, when you look about all the, and then you just, it's just that enough to keep you controlled, because, and
that's
even
why they
when we
have
talk
qualifications, so
right,
they can fail you. And that's why qualifications exist,
yeah,
so they can pass who they want to pass and fail who they want to fail.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we know that, And listen to this.
And just one second.
But hang on, can we just say about going back to those same qualifications?
1 second. Goodbye to the radio listeners. We'll be here again next week talking the things as we do. Shampsandgiggles.co.uk. Lord of his